I think the class was helpful to me specifically because there were multiple opportunities each lesson to talk and listen to others as well as talk myself. But most importantly, getting immediate feedback from a real person in real time.
Mhm.
That's not usually offered in other classes that I've taken. And additionally, I think because everybody is in there together, we're kind of a community of learners with the same goal, being able to hear them and hear the feedback given to them increased my fluency tremendously throughout the class.
Perfect. Thank you. And how was this class more effective than other things you've done to try and to improve your fluency?
Sure. I think there were a couple of things. One, I already mentioned just the immediate feedback from a real
And
person.
I'm going to have you back up. I'm going to have you say that in a statement. This class was
Uh,
more effective, and you can just say it now.
okay.
So
This
how was this class more effective than other classes or things you've done to improve your fluency?
this class was more effective than other courses I've taken online or even through reading books because, as I mentioned previously, the fact that you got feedback immediately in real time. But additionally, I think the fact that it was asynchronous was something that was different from other classes I've taken. If you couldn't make a class or didn't feel well or for whatever reason, you could always watch the lesson and even participate. That was up to you, of course, to do, but there were opportunities again to participate. And probably one thing I think that was really the most important for me, most programs I've done or classes I've taken, they sort of what we call skill and drill. They teach a particular skill and then you drill on that skill, which is helpful, but it's not in context. And so instead of learning long lists of vocabulary or paradigms of grammar, everything's taught through a story that builds constantly. So the old concepts and old vocabulary are reinforced each time, through the storytelling that we add to. So that was really different for me as well. Um, I guess it's just like it becomes the language to me became more intuitive than memorizing, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So I think
Yeah.
when kids learn their own native language, obviously they don't learn to read first or write, they learn to speak. And that's what this class sort of helps you to do, starting with a very basic story and then building on it over time. I feel pretty confident, especially if I can control the narrative or the situation. But we touched on our stories covered many things: restaurants, families, lots of things like that that I think I could apply. And again, it's just a matter of practice. And I certainly feel confident in my reading ability. I know that's not the goal of the class necessarily, but through reading, just like again, kids learn to read once they can speak some, and then they want to read more and find out the ending of the story or whatever. So that helps me. I think the main thing was since the class was focused or based on storytelling, everyone becomes engaged almost immediately. Even though the stories are short to begin with, they have multiple characters, which again helps you to, from a grammar standpoint, learn how to say I like, you like, he likes, instead of going through a paradigm like that. As you are one of the characters in the story, and you're talking to someone, either in the story or to the teacher or to other classmates, you're sort of embedding those things in your own vocabulary, in your own mind to keep everything going. So that was really good for me. And again, I think the fact that the stories became familiar and so everybody felt more and more comfortable as the class went on and wanted to add their own creative spin. And then finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't say the praise and encouragement from the teachers as well as other students sometimes. Hey, you did a great job, or any corrections were always made in a positive, non-threatening way so that you weren't afraid to make mistakes. And I think that's a big part of learning too, is just being able to make mistakes. That's how we learn. That really helped me, in addition to the oral component, which was very, very important, the class offered opportunities outside of class for those people that wanted more practice or motivated. And there was an ebook library that Vaughn and Blaine provided for us. And you could read the books on your own. And actually, many of the books could be read to you. So you would hear a native speaker reading the story aloud. So that was really helpful. And then each lesson, there were fun activities. Some were games, some were simply reading the story through again and putting things in order, sequencing, which is again something we teach our students and kids to do. So not only was in class super important, but those opportunities for growth outside class through reading and listening, were also different from other courses I had taken.